Welcome to another ALBUMMIN with your boy Jacob Wayne, and joining me once again is Kellen Gibbons. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing well.
Great.
Let's do this bum. Wait,
Yeah,
that's I don't know about that
the
intro.
bum.
Eh?
Let's bum it.
Let's smoke that bum.
Today's album review is going to be of the Cowboy Junkies' new cover album, Songs of the Recollection, which was released, I think, about a week ago from today. Today, as we record this, is April Fool's, April 1st. And so we're doing the little review of it. So, as a little bit of background, if you have not heard of this band, they are an alternative country and folk rock band formed in Toronto, Ontario, Canada in 1985 by Alan Anton, the bassist, Michael Timmins, songwriter and guitarist, Peter Timmins, drummer, and Margot Timmins, the vocalist. The three
Oh,
Timmins are siblings, and Anton worked with Michael Timmins during their first couple of bands. John
damn.
Timmins was initially a member of the band, but left the group before the recording of the first album. The band lineup has never changed since, although they
Wow.
use several guest musicians on many of their albums, including multi-instrumentalist Jeff Bird, who has performed on every album except the first.
Wow.
Now, for me personally, it looks like their second album, I couldn't remember where it was in their discography, the Trinity Session, is my personal favorite. And I
Uh-huh.
think that has some covers on it too, if not an entire cover collection as well. They do a song called Dreaming My Dreams with You, or at least that's the hook. And it's just
Yeah.
really mellow and really nice. It's like one of my favorite late night listens.
Uh-huh.
And so I was excited to check out this new record. So let's hop into it. What did you think of it?
Yeah, so I was like super into it. It blew me away more than I thought it would for sure. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. Not that I wasn't expecting to not like it, just I like
Sure.
really, really like it.
Well, it's nice when that happens, you know?
Yeah, I was ooh, this is my shit right here. One of those songs has dobro and pedal steel guitar at the same time. I'm like, God damn, that's country.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. I
it's
think you're going to
nice.
really need to check out the Trinity Sessions as
I
well,
am.
because that one's like really a lot more mellow than this one. And like, there's just this really perfect reverb drench over the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
So that's something worth talking about, is that I found out about him from a interview that our one of our favorite musicians between the two of us, Devin Townsend, he
Yeah.
was just listing off all these musicians that had inspired him or he was into or had learned things from.
Yeah. And they're high
And
on his list. He really
yeah,
likes those guys.
and I mean, just from that alone, if you're more of a metal rock kind of person and you know Devin Townsend, then you'll notice kind of correlations between certain things, like the female vocals is one element, and then kind of the use of reverb in the mix,
Yeah.
I think, is also kind of a correlation. And
And
I
I
think, just emotional songwriting, really.
yeah, I feel like the guitar player I see why Devin likes that guitar player too. Like they have a similar style. Like they're really good at like getting a really good tone that matches the melody they're playing, and they can get really dirty when the melody calls for it, or they can just play it with perfectly clean little, you know, crystal notes, all being
Hmm.
all up high, all nice and pretty. It's yeah, they're just it's cool. They're and the vocalist is so good. And she does remind me of a vocalist that I think Devin would use. Like I'm kind of surprised he doesn't like to collaborate with people. He says he likes it to just happen. But
Yeah,
man, I hope that just happens someday. I hope they
sure.
like hear that he likes them or something. Or oh man,
Yeah. And I think that that's another correlation is his project Casualties of Cool.
uh huh.
Do you remember the singer's name in that? It's like Che something.
Dorval,
Yeah,
something.
Che Dorval or something. Anyway, that's a really great record if you haven't heard that.
Hmm.
And it's similar in vibe and tone to the Cowboy Junkies, at least in my opinion.
For sure. Yeah.
And so yeah, there is like a bit of that. And that's kind of how much I love Casualties of Cool got me more into Cowboy Junkies. And so I mean it's they seem need to get more into their discography, but they seem pretty consistent because the Trinity Sessions is from the 90s, I think, maybe even late 80s.
Uh-huh.
So they've kind of been doing this for a minute and
Indeed.
they seem pretty consistent, but I'll have to check out kind of the in between records to confirm that. But let's talk about the fact that this is a covers album.
Yeah.
Um, Me looking at the list right now, the only one I recognize is 5 Years. Isn't that a David Bowie song?
Yep.
Everything else, like as I listened to it, I'm like, I kind of recognize that, but nothing really stood out as like, oh, that's obviously that.
Hmm.
So you don't have to list all of them, but what was like some of the most surprising cover choices on the list for you?
I don't know the David Bowie original, but that song kind of that very first one was one of the ones that kind of surprised me. But that was kind of me just being surprised by the band too, probably. So,
Okay.
but that was cool. I really liked the Graham Parsons tune, the second track, the Ooh Las Vegas. I thought
Okay.
I really liked the vibe of that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one, the Gordon Lightfoot tune, was really nice. That one,
Which one
uh,
was that?
that was the Way I Feel.
Okay.
A little later in the album. I liked that one a lot. And that was one where I was like had to go pull it up. It's like, ooh, which one's this? Because I was just had it going.
Yeah.
Then the Cure one was interesting. The
Wow, I didn't realize that was
yeah,
a Cure song.
17 seconds of the final track. So
I should have known that. Yeah. Anyway, I wasn't able to digest this one as much as the last time we did an album in it. So
yeah.
that is partially the issue. But yeah, I think for me, The Way I Feel in 5 Years were the standouts on a first couple listens.
Yeah.
And but yeah, this is definitely one that is going to be revisited a lot, and I could see it
Hmm.
shifting around quite a bit.
Yeah, I liked
Um,
it. Do you,
yeah, so it's a pretty great record.
do
Interesting
you
cover choices. Go ahead.
do you know who Vic Chestnut is?
No.
I've never heard of that name. But I
Yeah.
think that was the tune. It was either that one or the I've Made Up My Mind to Give Myself to You, the Bob Dylan tune. One of those tunes, the guitar player and one part is just going like he's just like playing like as hard and fast as he can, but in like really little like bursts. He's like
Yeah.
it's really really cool.
I'm glad you mentioned the Bob Dylan thing because I just remembered an interesting bit of information. Um, the band contributed a cover of Bob Dylan's 2020 song I've Made Up My Mind to Give Myself to You to the Dylan Revisited compilation that was released in 2021.
Oh,
And Variety ranked it the 17th best Dylan cover of all time
oh,
the month after it premiered. So, for
well,
whatever
there you
that's
go.
worth.
Hot damn.
Yeah. So, I think in a lot of ways, it's just some consummate professionals really laying it down the way they do, taking a song and making it their own. And beyond that, I don't know how much else to really break it down other than you should just go give the whole thing a listen. And what do you think the best setting is for listening to this record?
Oh, I'd say yeah, late night, glass of whiskey, maybe a cigar,
Yeah.
sitting by a window with a lamp on, just
Yeah.
kind of gazing out at the night.
Yeah. Like even like kind of sunset, summertime, sitting
Mhm.
out on your porch,
Yep.
moments like that. That'd be real good. Well, cool. Anything else you want to go over with this record?
No, that's really good, and I'm glad to see. I didn't even know. I didn't know that they were all mostly siblings. That's awesome. So
Yeah, you
no
have
wonder they're
that
so cohesive.
with you. You got your two brothers when you do some things, and
Yeah. Yeah, we played a show and everybody was like, "It's really fun to watch you guys, and you're all communicating and stuff." And we're like, "We are? What?
What are you talking about?
We're just playing the songs, yo."
Yeah.
uh,
Well, hell yeah. So with that, we're gonna wrap up this episode of Albummin' It. Go check
yeah,
out the Cowboy Junkies, and in relation to that, if you like that kind of a thing, check out Casualties of Cool.
indeed.
All righty.
Thank you to Devin for turning us on to this.
Oh yeah, always turning me on, Mr. Devin.
Every time.
Yeah.
Later.
Bye bye.